Welcome back to Wolfdog Empire, part 2 of 2 Soul Exchange. We already went over the 10 heroes required, the 15 heroes required. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. And for the 20 heroes required, I think the first one we can eliminate here would be Blue Galliard or Gaillard. So this hero here deals 540% damage to the target, so only hits one. All allies are immune to incoming negative effects and damage from fiends for 4 turns. So anti-Lubu, anti-Amethyst, anti-Viscaro. All allies are immune to new fiends for 4 turns, so that kind of helps you out big time there. But to be exchanging for 20 souls, it's a bit tough. The Stone Skin, that's a good effect there for the Gargoyles. I only have one Gargoyle that's Pinulite. He's amazing. I love him. Galliard, the way I play, if you need help against fiends, like maybe Amethyst or Lubu are just beating you up, you could take Galliard. The way I play, I do have Wang Juanji to remove the fiends once I get them. I do have Esme to remove the fiends once I get them. And I have 2 more copies of Wang Juanji that I can bring up that don't need these expensive 5-star materials. And she's yellow, Wang Juanji is, which is great against purple tanks. So the way I play and the way my roster is set up, the one that I wouldn't need is Galliard. I do have Guanyu and this is Garden Kong. I do have it is with the costume Garden Kong. I do have 2 copies. I was able to be lucky enough to draw 2 costume Garden Kongs, and I did bring one up. He is a little low on defense, so you have to limit break Guardian Kong / costume Guardian Kong. He has to be limit broken. And I did bring up a lot of monk heroes, so I did run out of monk emblems. So my second costume Guardian Kong is just sitting there at 1-1 waiting for more monk emblems. So for my roster, I would not take costume Guardian Kong, a 3rd copy. I would not. I don't have the materials to bring him up or the emblems. Costume Guardian Kong needs all 20 emblems, and he has to be limit broken at least once because his defense is really low. So keep that in mind. And you want to go defense big time for Guardian Kong. Now, the cost of Guardian Kong, he dispels buffs from all enemies. He does deal good damage at 300% to all enemies. And all allies reflect all status effects and 115% damage back to the attacker and block other negative effects from enemies' ice special skills for 4 turns. So he's really good there. And if you don't need a buff dispeller that one time here, you can switch him to base Guardian Kong, and he cleanses status ailments from all allies. And all allies get plus 94% defense against ice for 4 turns. And he deals 250% damage to all enemies. So the Guardian Kong and costume Guardian Kong are that Cleanser, Dispeller. So you can choose which one you want. And so he's a really good hero, but you have to fully emblem him up and limit break him at least once, working on the emblems, working on the defense. So for my roster, I would not do Guardian Kong for my roster. But if you need a cleanser or dispeller, he is a good option. And the cleanser, you could use them against Alfrike. But there's all the better cleansers against Alfrike, like maybe Vivica. And a dispeller, he can go up against taunt heroes and dispel that. So that's good. And Topaz here, she has the 1, 2, and 3 mana charge, and she destroys all minions from the target, and then deals damage to that one target, and then gives mana for each destroyed minion. And of course, there's all the way up to the 3rd charge. And Topaz is great. She's yellow, so there's a lot of purple tanks out there. And so Topaz is really good for that, but she's also great against minions. So in Undead Horde Wars, she can be very viable there. The only thing that I foresee here, even though she is super strong, is that she has to have her own team separate away from Scotty and Grimble. And Faded Summons has been gracious enough to get us a Scotty and a Grimble. And so they both need a bunch of fiends to be out there for them to do their job effectively. And Topaz also needs the fiends to be out there so that she can use that to give her allies mana, sort of like Grimble does, except she's on a charge 1, 2, 3. So she can remove them even on the 1x charge, which is very fast. She can remove them, whereas Grimble has to wait till he goes off. She's a lot faster, so she can remove all those minions and give mana to her team. So Topaz is better than Grimble. But if you have a Scotty, like I do, and a Grimble, like I do, if you do get Topaz, you have to build her own team in Undead Horde. And her team may have to be similar to Grimble's and Scotty's, where you kind of want other allies around Topaz who don't just kill the fiends. So you don't want damage dealers to just kill the fiends. And so because of that, it's going to be tough to form 3 teams, one around Grimble, one around Scotty, and one around Topaz, that where the other allies where you don't have too many others that actually do damage to the minions. Except maybe one to kind of, after you run Topaz and remove the minions, one that does damage to kind of try to kill the others. But because of that, it'll be tough to form 3 of those teams. But if we have a large enough roster and enough materials, you can probably bring up heroes that will complement Topaz for all 3 teams. One for Scotty, one for Grimble, and one for Topaz. So it would just be a little tough for me. My My roster is growing, so that's good. I would have to bring up certain heroes to work around Topaz, and I am low on 5-star mats, and so I would say I will probably end up bringing up a bunch of 4-stars to kind of help Topaz, or use some heroes that I already have, which like in 5-stars, but I would already be using them for Grimble and Scotty. So I would not take Topaz just because I would have trouble putting a team together around her, or I would just replace Scotty or Grimble, like maybe replace Grimble. But that's just kind of tough to replace a 5-star with another 5-star. Then you're not really improving your roster greatly. You're just improving the roster somewhat. So the other reason, because I kind of like Topaz when Custom Catalan was the green in exchange for 20, because I already have a Custom Catalan. But I am out of materials to limit break Topaz. So I do have the Sorcerer emblems, even though I want to give some of these to Lepiota. Actually, once I give them to Lepiota, I would be out of the Sorcerer emblems. And I am definitely out of the limit break materials for yellow. The rare ones, I'm down to 0. So for my Topaz is a good hero. For my roster, I would say no for my situation. But she is a good hero. At Grafina, she doesn't deal damage. She is on a magic 2 charge. She does all enemies get minus 20% attack for 3 turns. All enemies get minus 20% defense for 3 turns. And all enemies receive 159 poison damage over 3 turns. And a second charge is even better. I do have these emblems to be given out to another hero. And I do have a lot of purples. I'm trying to bring up Lepiota. I'm trying to bring up Costume Hell. I can bring up 3 Costume Freyas. I'm just not going to be able to bring up. I have a Conchu, but I'm out of emblems for Conchu. I have a Lubu in purple, but I'm out of emblems for Lubu. I may actually be out of these emblems soon. So, because I just have too many purple heroes, I'm going to say no for myself, no to Agrafina. But she is really good though. And for Guanyu, I do have one Guanyu already at 80-20. He's amazing. Mana speed average, a little lacking on defense, but you can work on that with the emblems and with the limit break. Mana speed average, he deals 390% damage to the target and nearby enemies, so that's good. Affects 3 instead of just 1. Damage bypasses target's minions. So this is one of those that works great with Grimble and Scotty and with Topaz, because he doesn't kill the minions. He leaves the minion there and just damages the hero behind the minion. And so that's why he's good with Scotty and Grimble and Topaz. The target and nearby enemies get minus 25% defense and a further minus 3% decrease for each minion owned by enemies for 3 turns, up to minus 70% defense. This effect cannot be cleansed. Guanyu is an amazing hero, And would I be able to ascend him right away? I actually do have the 5-star ascension materials for greens. I can bring up, I believe, 2 greens at least. And I have a lot of these emblems. Only Kara would be trying to take those away, but I am out of the yellow limit break materials. So Guanyu will probably take those shields first. And I left Guanyu last on here because that is actually who I do want to pick. So without further ado, I do have one Guanyu. This will be my second Guanyu, and I would definitely love to take Guanyu. And I remember the previous list, just the day before, said that in green exchange for 20, it would be costume Catalan. And although there was a couple people who said they wanted costume Catalan because they had never been able to pull costume Catalan, I believe Guanyu is a better hero. So I do have a costume Catalan, and I would not take a second costume Catalan. But I do have a Guanyu, and I will definitely love to take a second Guanyu. So let's do this. That's what I'm trading for. Second Guanyu, welcome to my roster. All right, that was it on the Soul Exchange for June 2023. If you'd like to support my channel, please give this video a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And also leave a comment. Let me know who you took in this Soul Exchange or who you will take in this Soul Exchange. And if you don't have enough to trade, just let us know. I don't have enough to trade, but I would have traded for this hero. And I'll see you next time here at Wolf Dog Empire.